A lot of my friends, clients, and enemies do not know that I've been married 9 times. 9 times. Yours relentless. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. I am an ex-professional hockey coach, ex-amateur professional hockey coach turned 8-figure entrepreneur. It is raining cats and dogs, as my grandmother used to say, buckets and buckets of rain here in the Great White North. As you can see, didn't stop me from my 70-minute road work this morning, my 70-minute 10,000 step walk, but not really a fan of shooting broken iPhone kick in the mental pants videos in the pouring rain. Apparently this is the tail end of the hurricane in the south. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? Badass brothers, top 1%ers, don't care about weather, don't care about politics, don't care about the news. They focus on actual things that they can control. Control the controllables, brother. So I wrote about this earlier this week, and I wanted to share it in one of these broken iPhone videos. I think it's that powerful. My wife, Krista, and I have been married 13 glorious years. And if you're married to yours unruly, that's like dog years. So do the math. Krista has been married to me for 13 years times 7, and I'm not going to do public math. I'll leave that up to my daughter to do. So not the easiest guy to be married to, not the easiest guy to share a home with, not the easiest guy to be around, but 13 glorious years and counting. We have the greatest example. My parents are coming up on their 70th year, their anniversary. My mom and dad are both 91. They're going to be celebrating their 69th or 70th next summer, God willing. And Krista's parents, we lost Krista's mom 5 years ago. Her dad, of course, is still with us. They are in the same ballpark in the late 60s. So the example you grow up with is so critical. It's so critical. And Krista and I both had the greatest example of how to grow a relationship, build a relationship, get through the difficult times. Marriage is hard. Marriage is difficult. It's supposed to be. That's the reason it's so valuable. That's why it's such an important part of building a family. That's why it's so important to set an example to our children that relationships are difficult. Relationships are hard. They're supposed to be. There's relationships that are worth fighting for. And one of those relationships that's always worth working on and fighting for is your relationship with your queen. So, married 9 times, I want to share with you a story that's literally transformed my marriage. Marriage is, you see so much today where it's just hit a rocky period and quit, right? We live in a world today now of quitters. It's not just young people. We live in a society now where if it's hard, you just quit. If you don't want to do it, you just quit. If it's not smooth sailing, you just quit. And this is the reason that divorce rates are plus 50%. Any difficulty, if things aren't rainbows and unicorns, quit and do something else. It was better for the children that we separated. Like fuck, it was better for the children. Well, it's life is too short, not to be happy. Tell that bullshit to somebody else, but don't try to sell it to me. Marriage is so important. It's so hard. It's so difficult. but marriage is the cornerstone of world building. You can't build a top 1% life without a ride or die partner, without a secret weapon queen. That's just the way it is. There might be one exception, but I'm not into exceptions. I cannot build and continue to build my top 1% badass world, my society, my business, my health, serve other men. I can't build my empire. I can't build this kingdom without my best friend, ride or die secret weapon. And that's a fact. I cannot do this alone. So who we choose to spend our life with, who we choose to marry, is the number one most important decision that we make. We've already made it for most of us a long time ago. But that's something that needs to be being discussed at your kitchen table all the time with your children, your grandchildren, your teenagers. Are you kidding me? That's the most important decision your children are going to make. And it's something that needs to be talked about all the time. I talk about it and Krista talks about it. We talk about it all the time with our daughter. She's only 11 years old. She's heard this for years. The most important decision she will ever make in terms of her own happiness and success is who she decides to marry, who she decides to spend her life with and build her own personal badass world. If she gets that decision wrong, she's going to live life on hard mode. If she gets that decision right, if she gets that decision correct, life all of a sudden becomes seamless. Life becomes simple. Get it wrong, quiet desperation, a life of quiet desperation. Get it right, and you've got a chance to win in every area of your life. So that's a conversation that needs to be happening in every home all the time, whether you think they're listening or not. And nothing, you listening? Nothing is more contagious than your positive example. What they see is what they'll probably do. What they see from you and your queen is what they'll probably do. One of the reasons that my daughter Emery has seen my wife Krista and I arguing, debating, we include her in as much as we can her entire life. The reason we don't leave the room, the reason we don't go hide in the bedroom and discuss something later, or try and sell the fact that marriage is rainbows and unicorns, is because when parents do that, you mess up your kid. The reason that we have so many snowflakes now, we have so many snowflake kids, so many snowflake 20-somethings, 30-somethings, 40-somethings, is because my generation of cupcake parents. It's not the child's fault. It's not the young adult's fault. My generation has been the worst generation of parenting in history. That lies at our feet. Cupcake parents, in a lot of cases, underfathered, overmothered, not in every case, but a lot. I work with all these kids, age 4 to age 40. I've been at it for 30 years. 3 decades. And I've seen the shift in children, in teenagers, in young adults. Cupcake parents, my generation, raising snowflake children. Snowflake children and young adults, a snowflake means you melt under pressure. It means you're no good when it matters. No grit, no work ethic, no mental toughness, no stick-to-itness. Isn't that a great legacy from my generation? Cupcake parents raising snowflake children. You've crippled them. We've crippled them. We've crippled them with our patronizing. They can't deal with adversity. They can't deal with somebody raising their voice. They can't deal with things not going their own way. They can't deal with stress. They can't deal with anxiety. They can't deal with frustration. Zero grit. So this is the reason that if my wife and I have a disagreement, we don't cuss, we don't swear, we don't call each other names, but my daughter has seen firsthand in the kitchen, in the living room, disagreements, arguments, and debates. And she's seen it. She knows when we're not getting along. She knows when our relationship is on fire. She knows when our relationship isn't on fire. Stop patronizing your children. They know, they feel the energy, and energy is never wrong. So we don't hide any of this. We don't go hide in a room and then, debate or argue later. In a lot of cases, we do it civilly in front of her. I want her to see adults working things out. We always work things out. My wife and I, we are passionate, we are driven, we're principle-based, we're value-based. We do not share all the same opinions. My wife and I are very different people. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a capitalist, I'm a 100% self-reliant, self-responsibility type of guy. My wife, admittedly, has a lot more compassion and a lot more empathy for people. That's what makes her special. That's what makes her great. That's what I've learned from her. I'm not any more right than she is. What makes us different brings that spice to our relationship. I wouldn't change it for the world. She thinks independently, I think independently, and we encourage our daughter to think for herself. Not what daddy thinks, not what mommy thinks. What do you think? We're raising an independently thinking adult. So no, we don't pull our punches in our home. We don't try and put her in a bubble that every marriage is all blue skies, because then when these people get married themselves and things don't go smoothly and there's arguments and disagreements and hurt feelings, which is part of every relationship, they think that this is something wrong and they just give up and quit. That's the reason there's so many divorces in 2024. It's because we've brainwashed our children into thinking that every relationship, including their marriage, should be rainbows and unicorns. And when it's not, they're fucked. They're out. They pull the pin. And that's horrific parenting. That's patronizing. That's pulling your punches. Instead of, I think back to my parents, they're going to be married 70 years coming up. I remember they didn't speak to each other for 2 weeks when we were kids. We didn't think anything of it. Are you guys actually going to speak to each other? It's almost been 2 weeks. My mother is a ferocious competitor. My dad was the CEO of our family. My mom was the COO of our family. You think everything was everything was like Fantasy Island. Are you kidding me? My parents would go at it. Never personal, never swearing, never cussing, never demeaning. But yes, arguing. And yes, fighting. And yes, standing up for themselves. So now that I'm a grown adult in multiple relationships in business and with my queen Krista, I just think the disagreements are healthy. I think that arguing is important. I think standing up for your principles and values and beliefs. See, that's the thing about a great marriage. My wife and I do not agree on many, many things, but we share the exact same values. Values like hard work, like honesty, like integrity, like serving other people. We share the exact same values and principles, and the rest of the small stuff we don't always agree on. But we agree and share our core principles and values. Honesty, hard work, integrity, all of this stuff. So I've been married 9 times, and the guys laugh at that. My mastermind guys laugh when I say this, but it's the truth. So out of 13 years of marriage, the first 3 to 4 years were rainbows and unicorns. And they usually are. Krista and I got married 13 years ago, and we had a few bucks. I was finally doing well in the insurance business. We bought our first couple of homes together. We didn't have any children, and we were just living life to the fullest, enjoying our freedom. There was only me and Krista. We would rent houses on the beach for a month down in Georgia and down in Key Largo, and we'd fly our parents in for a week, and we'd just have a hell of a time. And I was my own boss. We were free to do whatever you want. I was coaching hockey. I had my own team. We were living the life of Riley, as my grandfather used to say. But then, of course, there's something missing, right? And that is family, children, God's gift to a family, children. So then our daughter Emery came along. We decided to have a family, and everything changed for the better. Everything changed for the better, except our marriage. So after 4 years of being fancy free and living the life of Riley, you're in a situation where you're raising an infant. You have this new person in your home. I'm learning how to be a father. Krista's learning how to be a mother. So all of a sudden, very common, all of the romance, all of the fire leaves your marriage. This is very normal. I wouldn't have known that unless my parents told me the same thing. So I was prepared that this is going to be hard, this is going to be difficult, and it's supposed to be. I'm not cutting and running, I'm not pulling the pin, I'm not quitting. It's supposed to be hard. So we embraced being new parents, but we took it to the next level. We just weren't like the general unwashed or the 99% normies who told us, well, now you have children, or now you have a child. So, your marriage is going to be different, and you're not going to have as much passion. You're not going to have as much, romance, all this stuff. Just settle is what the normies told us. Just settle, right? Life has now hit hard. So we decided, as always, to take Uncle Earl Nightingale's advice, look around at what everybody else is doing and just do the opposite. So we did that. And I ran upon this article I was reading about 10 years ago, and it suggested that you ask your queen and your queen asks you these 3 power questions every year. And a good time to do it's on your anniversary, right? So Krista and I started doing this 10 years ago. Emery's a 1-year-old or in around that area. And we need a shot of adrenaline. We need a boost of passion. We need to add some gasoline, some fuel to our relationship. So every anniversary, we always go on a 3-day retreat somewhere. Not a retreat, it's a vacation. 3 days. My parents would look after Emery, or Krista's parents would look after Emery, and we'd take these 3 glorious days. And we've always done that. And we just go and spend time together. That's it, that's all. So I remember I approached Krista the very first time because I didn't know what she was going to say. And I said, listen, you don't answer me now, But here's this book I was reading. And I mean, your queen will love this, by the way. I've discovered that, working on your relationship. And I said, here's the 3 questions the author said that we should ask each other every year to really, really light a fire in our relationship every year. So I said, what do you think about testing this? And of course, she's got such an open mind, right? She's like, I think this is wonderful. So I told her the 3 questions, and I knew the 3 questions. And I think we thought about them for a week on our own. And then we went on our 3-day anniversary retreat. And on the 2nd day of our anniversary retreat, nothing special. We just went to a little bed and breakfast, just spend some time together, reconnect, talk about adult things, talk about world building, where we want to go. And the 3 questions we ask each other are this. And of course, I always have Krista go first. She asks me the questions. But whatever, these are the 3 questions. Do what you want with this. Do what you want with it. It's not like I only play a marriage counselor in these videos. I'm not a therapist or a pretend expert or a marriage counselor by any means, but this is work for us. So do what you want with it. But these are the 3 questions to write down. And Krista went first, and it was private in our room. We were sitting there by the pool. Nobody else was there. And these are the 3 questions. Number 1 is, what would you like me to do more of in the next year? That's it. She asked me, what would you like me, or I asked her, what would you like me to do more of in the next year? And sometimes she'll have 1 thing that we'll discuss, or even 2 things. It could be it's something that she really admires. It's something that I'm passionate about, obsessed about, that I'm not self-aware. And every year she knocks me on my can by telling me this is something that she really loves and respects about me. And she would love if I did more of that in our family. And it's different every year. But what a spectacular way for somebody you love and respect to tell you, do more of that. You're at your very best when you're doing this. So let's do more of that. And every year she gives me 1 or 2 things that she would like me to do more of this. And it's across the board. It can be anything. And then we discuss it, and I'm like, I'm gonna do more of that. I love that. It's a passion of mine. I didn't know that, you respected that and love that. I'm going to do more of that. So you get something more of what that person wants in the relationship. Pretty simple. The second question is, what's something you would like me to do less of? Now we're getting into the clear as kind. This isn't a fun exercise, by the way. It's incredible. It'll transform your relationship. It'll literally pour gasoline on your relationship. Your marriage will be back on fire for another year. But this is not an easy conversation. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult. You just have to put on your big boy pants. Put on your big boy pants and let your wife talk candidly to you. It's the best 1 hour of your year. So now we're getting into the real, we're getting down to it now. What would you like me to do less of? And she's going to tell you a couple of your bad habits, which should be brought to your attention. I would appreciate it if you did less of this. And again, she might say 1 or 2 things. You might take it personally like a little child, or you might say to yourself, I'm going to do less of that. I'm going to grow up and I'm going to do less of that. I'm not a college kid anymore. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, whatever. Yes, I'm going to actually do less of that. And it's going to be something that improves your life. and it's going to be something that improves your queen's life, and it's going to be something that improves your family. So that's the second question. Now here's the big boy pants question, the third one that nobody likes, but it's the most important. What would you like me to stop doing in the next year? And this is the question that she may flinch on. She may flinch on it. I don't have any bite marks on my tongue. I never flinch on stuff. I just tell it like it is. My wife tells it like it is. We have a rule in our marriage: no lies, no secrets. Two things: no lies, no secrets. Don't ever fucking lie to me. That's my wife's mentality. And no fucking secrets. Don't let me learn something that I didn't know 13 years in. We are open book. No lies, no secrets. No white lies, no secrets. And then there's no surprises. The thing about lying is this. The thing about keeping secrets is this. You listening? When you lie, that's now a problem of the future. It's going to come back. It's a problem in the future. You haven't been truthful. You haven't been candid. You haven't been open. You haven't been honest. That now is a problem in the future. When you're brutally honest, the unvarnished truth, clear as kind, no matter how big the problem is, it's now in the rearview mirror. Or worst case scenario, at least now you can start working on a solution. Because there's no progress without the truth. All progress starts with the truth. In business, in sports, with your reflection in the glass, in your marriage, your relationship with your children, all progress starts with the truth. Lie, it's a problem in the future. Truth, problem in the past. So the third one is the big boy, brass balls question. What would you like me to stop doing? And, that could be drinking alcohol. That could be smoking. That could be, it could be anti-social media. Maybe you're a cell phone junkie. Maybe you've got a digital addiction. It's all video games, grown men addicted to video games. Maybe it's pro sports. You're sick of your ass sitting on the couch all day Sunday and all day Monday while you escape into pro sports. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's whatever it is. It's something toxic, and it's something radioactive in your life. And encourage her to tell you and give you the straight goods. Think about it, and if it improves your family, stop doing it. If the king doesn't rise, the kingdom dies. If the kingdom's dying, it's because those three questions, you got to take those last two to heart. So, literally, we've done this 9 years in a row, including this year, and I genuinely believe I've been remarried 9 times. Because every time we get to our anniversary, our marriage and our relationship is like on fumes. It's like, something's missing. And the reason for that is what's missing is this time together and the opportunity to communicate clear as kind, unclear as unkind, like before. So 9 years in a row, we've come back from our 3 or 4 day getaway, and we're like new people. I know I am. And our daughter notices it. Our parents notice it. Everybody notices it, and we're literally transformed for the year to come. And this is how, year after year, decade after decade, you build a marriage that's on fire. Your marriage should get stronger, not weaker. Your marriage isn't strong the first 2 years, the first 3 years. That's all just testosterone and youth and new. You're the new shiny object. But if you're a real king, if you're a real badass king, and you've married the right person who's your badass queen, and you're building a family of children and grandchildren, if you're really building the world of your dreams, your empire, your secret society, every year you take it personally that I'm going to make my marriage bigger, stronger. Because if you truly believe, like I do, unlike the normies, unlike the great unwashed, unlike the quiet desperation, 99%, that marriage is the cornerstone of your world. It's the cornerstone of your world. If you believe that, then you work every single year to make it better. And how do you make something better? You make something better by improving the foundation of it. And that's what reinventing your marriage every year, that's what recommitting does. That's what these 3 questions do. They get you out of your comfort zone. Life is a mirror, it's not a window. What do you think these 3 questions do? They hold a mirror up to you. When Krista asks me these 3 questions, or I answer these 3 questions, that holds a mirror up to me. It makes me uncomfortable, it makes me stressed, it makes me anxious, and it's exactly what the surgeon ordered. Life is a mirror. We get what we put out there. We get what we reflect. Life is a mirror, marriage is a mirror. What you put out there, you'll get more of. But these 3 questions will serve as a mirror in your face. Look in the glass and see what you, and somebody else is going to give you clear as kind feedback. And it's up to you to be man enough to understand it comes from a place of love and improve yourself and get fucking better. This is your queen. This is your secret weapon. This is your best friend. This is the person you're building your badass empire to the day you can't build anymore. There is no finish line. There is no top. I can't wait till we get to the top. Anybody who's been to the top knows there is no fucking top. There is no top. But this is the person who's going to hold that mirror up so you can reflect on how to be a better leader, better king, better lion, better empire builder. Greatest thing I've ever done for my marriage. Date nights are important. Walking together on the weekends important. Gratitude at bedtime is important. But nothing's more important than every year minimum remarrying and recommitting and answering those questions. On unrelated news, I'm inviting 50 of my badass brothers, age 50 and above, to join me, my brand new badass brotherhood mastermind, money making and marketing, starting in August. If you're not satisfied with the first 6 months of your year, maybe you want to make more money, maybe you want to be a better marketer, maybe you want to be a better husband, maybe you just want to king up. Maybe it's time the king was rising in your area. Maybe you just want to build the world of your dreams like I do. If you have any interest in the mastermind, it'll be 3 live events each year, bi-weekly training online, all of this soup to nuts. I'm not going to charge $30,000 this year like I did. I'm not going to charge 30 grand, $997 a month, $997 a month, 50 men invited, 50 age over. All you have to do is put brass balls in the comment below. Brass balls in the comment below. When I have some details, I'll send them to you. It's no obligation. Putting brass balls doesn't mean you've committed. There's no strings. I don't want you in the thing if you don't want to be in it. But if you want more details than I can tell you in this ugly video, then put brass balls in the comments and I'll send you some details when I have them. And then you can say hell yeah or hell no, Michael. And it's perfectly okay either way. It's perfectly okay either way. If you're interested in more information about the Mastermind, brass balls below. I appreciate your likes, your comments, and I appreciate you paying the tax, subscribing and sharing these videos with other men that maybe need a mental kick in the pants as well every day. Maybe you have a partner, a manager, an employee, a son, a daughter who need a mental kick in the pants. If they do, I appreciate you sharing the good news with them, these videos. You can also download my book for free below, brassballsvideos.com. It's a 22-page book. I just cut right to the chase here with these 5 things that can help you unfuck your life. They've helped me do it several times. Hey, we're all there all the time. If you need help getting your shit together, this is the 5 things that's helped me get my shit together. Doesn't take years. It just takes 30 days or less. That book is my free gift to you below, brassballsvideos.com. It's not everybody's cup of whiskey. It's for champions, not chumps, winners, not losers. Just letting you know in advance, the link is below. Mastermind, put brass balls below. That's it. Be brave, be fierce, and 2 words that changed my life and could change yours. Be relentless.